All right, let's get to the latest on today's market moves. The rand has firmed marginally so far ahead of a slew of local economic data releases, including producer price inflation and a key U.S. inflation reading. The currency is now trading at around 19.21 against the U.S. dollar. Let's bring in Viv Govender, who is a portfolio manager at Rand Swiss. Viv, it's great to have you with us on the program to take us through some of the important market moves happening this Thursday. Shall we begin with South Africa's takeover regulation panel, that ruling that French broadcaster Canal Plus is required to make a mandatory offer immediately to buy MultiChoice shares it doesn't already own. What do you make of this? Is this good news, Viv?
Look, I mean, if you look at basically the negotiation that's happening at the moment between MultiChoice and Canal Plus, and look at the share price, the market is indicating that they would want a little higher price than this. Yes, if you look at the price that was offered by Canal Plus, it is better than the previous price. So the offered price was higher than the currently trading price. But you look back a couple of months, a couple of years, and so on, you'll find it's not totally out of whack in terms of what the price of MultiChoice had been in the past. And that means that, maybe some shareholders out there have the belief that they could get a higher price from it. This initial, level is just a regulatory thing. But there needs to be some more hammering out between MultiChoice and Canal Plus as to what the level is going to be. They can make a mandatory offer, but it will not matter if, most people don't want to take that price.
Yeah, absolutely. MultiChoice looks to be in quite a strong position then, would you say?
It all depends. I mean, you often do find the cases where, yes, you do offer a premium to the last traded price, but, the board or the shareholders do come out and say that's not, enough. And it all comes down to whether or not, they can find an agreement between MultiChoice and Canal Plus as to what the level is going to be. In all likelihood, I do think that, if the deal is going to be done, it's going to be done at a higher level than the initially offered price.
Okay, shall we take a look at First Rand? It's published results and cash dividends. What's standing out for you from those numbers?
Yeah, if you look at, for instance, the South African banking sector, they've been under huge pressure recently in terms of the pricing of, of interest rates coming through and really having a negative effect on consumers out there. And that's something I think we need to be looking at as well. If you look at, for instance, First Rand over the last, say, month or so, the share price is down, 5+%. And, over a period of about a year, it's pretty much a similar kind of move. It's unchanged for the last, year or so. We are seeing, significant, issues coming through with regards to the amount of people that are unable to pay back from their loans. The interest rates are helping in one way because, the bigger the margin for interest, the bigger the money that can be earned. But also at the same time, the more difficulty your clients have in actually paying back those loans.
Yeah. Spur, this is a topic that probably all of us know something about. They also have results for the 6 months ending 31 December 2023. Help us make sense of that performance. I feel like me and my family have probably kept them in business for the past year.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not a very well-traded share. So today we are seeing basically no change in the share price. And if you look over the last year or so, it's done reasonably well. It's done about 20+%, which is, outperforming in our market. Over like a 5-year period, it's done about 30% in total, which is, not that great. So there's been a bit of an uptick recently. Showing, like in most places, still challenges with the South African environment. We are seeing, of course, the issues with regards to some of the infrastructure out there and how that's affecting these companies. To some extent, it does help them, of course, load shedding, etc. Is an issue that will obviously, make more people go to the restaurant. But they are noticing something that I don't think people have been talking about much, which is water supply. They have about half the restaurants spending money on water solutions, which I don't think has been as much of a news event as electricity at the moment. Yeah,
absolutely. And incredibly, that's an important take on that story. MTN Ghana says mobile subscribers there reaching 26.8 million. According to its results. Is that a good part of the market share?
Yeah, look, I mean, still, MTN is one of those places, one of those companies that does a lot more, outside South Africa than it does in South Africa. There's a significant tax bill here, apparently around about $469 million, which, obviously it's something similar to what we've seen in, for instance, from Nigeria. There are issues with regards to, some of the operations of MTN in West Africa that obviously have been, negative for the company. But that being said, this company has done really well in the environment. Big player in Nigeria, big player in Ghana. to a certain extent, that comes with its own kind of challenges because, like we see what's happening in Nigeria, where they forced you to list locally, they forced you to pay higher taxes. There's issues about taking money back. But, overall, growth in that part of the world has been better than it has been for other places for MTN.
Yeah. And then finally, Viv, Pepkor is selling the building company for 1.2 billion rand. What are the specs of this sale?
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of Pepkor, we of course know that, there's been some issues recently. It is a situation where I do think that, we've seen issues with regards to Builders Warehouse and a couple of other players out there. These guys had a huge uptick just after the end of COVID. People were at home, they were sitting around and they were, saying, oh, my house doesn't look as great as I thought it did. We're spending more time there. That being said, now we're seeing a situation in which kind of the reverse is happening. People that do home improvements own their homes, and generally they have home loans around that. And if you look at the amount of money, the amount of extra money you're spending now on home loans than you were in the past because of high interest rates, that's obviously put a huge amount of pressure on these people, and therefore their spending has been less. And so this is a bit of a distressed part of the sector at the moment, I mean.
And 1.2 billion doesn't sound like a heck of a lot of money, does it?
Yeah, look, it is a private equity sale that's going to be done here, and maybe the private equity has a longer-term view in terms of, of the sector. They have looked at basically, I think, selling cash flow a while back as well. I think in terms of the different sectors, this is probably one of the sectors that's most negatively affected by the interest rates at the moment. And I think that maybe that might be something that comes in the future, and maybe the private equity companies will take that risk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that this is something they're looking to do.
Yeah, very, very interesting indeed. And I wonder, if 3-4 years ago, if we would have seen them making this kind of decision. Viv Govender, let me thank you for your time. A great pleasure talking to you and unpacking these market moves. Viv Govender is a portfolio manager at Rand Swiss.